What is happening, boys?
Well, Lenny, all good.
All good, man.
Is that us live?
Yeah, it's us live. So don't be talking dirty talk the ways we're doing before we come on here or anything like that. There, okay?
All right.
Try not to.
Try not to.
Well, what's happening, boys? Is all good?
Good. Busy.
Busy. Happy days. Happy days. Okay, man. So, tell you what we're gonna do here. Starting off, we're gonna talk a wee bit about your boxing career first of all, and where you boys got started out. So, what club did you boys start at?
Well, I started off in St Agnes's, and then moved to Gleon, worked at coaches for a bit,
Right.
and then after that, we ended up in Plunkett.
Right. Okay. So you were just getting on like two travellers in back in the day, were you?
I just jumping about gyms again.
Couldn't have stayed in one place, no?
No. Where were you, Dockers, from start to finish?
That was from start to finish, man. You know, I was loyal from start to finish, even though I probably got my nose broke more times than I should have before that fact.
See, you probably would have got to where I got if you didn't. If you left the Dockers.
Well, here, that's good, because that brings me on to the next question, right? You know, who was the toughest fight you ever had? You know, aside from the time I kicked your ass, like, who's the toughest fight you've ever had?
I fought a guy in Philadelphia. It was my American debut. His name was Marlon Washington, and I remember standing waiting on him to go out, and he was built like a tank, big black fella, and he came out to Sam Cooke. What was it? Sam Cooke, just a real slow Sam Cooke song, and just walked the ring emotionless. And I remember getting in with him. First punch he hit me, I was like,
"Oh fuck!"
And then it was a third. I remember after the fight, I ended up stopping them in the fight. But I remember after it telling everyone to stop them in the fourth round. Everyone was like, "It stopped them in the second round." That's how hard he hit me. I didn't even know what round it was.
Holy shit, dude!
And then obviously the time you robbed me in the white collar.
Dude, listen, it's judge's call. Judge's call. What about you, Mark?
Yeah, we're having one in November. We're having one next month.
Dude, I'm retired. I'm finished on a win. What about you, Mark?
My hardest fight was Ireland versus Russia. I went down the fight, and Kevin Fantasy was the team captain. It was in Clonmel, and my opponent's name was scribbled out, and mine just put in with Fantasy's opponent, and then he fought my opponent. And his dad was the team manager. I just got my balls fading.
They knew what was happening there, didn't they? You're sunk early.
I walked out, hit the remand 1-2, and then this is handy. Next minute, he just whacked me, vibrations down the back of my neck. It gets stopped in the third round, and the referee said, "I'm stopping this kid. Your nose is bleeding badly." As me, could have done that 2 rounds ago.
Fuck's sake, referee! I was looking at you 2 rounds ago. You could have stepped in then. What age were you saying?
I was 21. It was just before I turned pro.
Right.
I was 20.
Holy shit! I remember actually. It was actually one of my last amateur bouts. Fought a guy. He was an Afghan. He had moved to London. And I went out the first round and dropped him, and I was like, see a thing where I was like, fuck me, this is a handy one. And that dude come back in the second round and fucking kicked my ass. Like literally beat me about the ring. I ended up winning the fight, but it was like, holy shit, I'm done. That's me, I'm finished, that's it.
Was that against Rapton?
It was against Rapton, Here they were class trips. What was the hardest part about fighting for you boys?
Fighting?
Not fighting, about boxing.
Boxing, I loved the training side of it all, and loved sparring, loved the whole team atmosphere, and if you want to say the tribe, that's where it all stems from for our gym. Is that sort of family that you have in a boxing gym? But I couldn't deal with the pressure of actually getting in and fighting, whereas he loved that part, whereas to me, I think it was because I boxed when I was about 6 years old. There was always pressure that he's going to do this, he's going to do that. So I never could actually enjoy fighting because I was always just crippled by nerves and anxiety, if you want to say. But that's, if you want to say, I loved everything about boxing, but apart from boxing in the ring.
That's where
he didn't do too bad in the fights.
Like, I know. Well, I mean, I suppose, you know, I probably would have been exactly the same. You know, like, I think anxiety comes with that game. Do you know what I mean? I think it's probably the only time in life where you could say, you know, anxiety is probably helpful. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not helpful. I don't know where you got that from, dude. Because I'd have been sitting conjuring up the worst possible what if scenarios. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if this goes wrong? Like,
I remember getting wet in for a fight and going, wonder if I pretended to faint here would pull me out of there.
You'd be thinking all sorts of crazy shit. And here, see, the thing about it is the guy you're fighting is probably all going through the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, both guys are walking to the ring going, fuck, I should have just stayed in bed tonight. You know what I mean? Mark, what about you, mate? Like, what was the hardest part about it for you?
It's probably just getting started in boxing once, because like, I started boxing because I get knocked down, and then I had to learn to walk and stuff again.
Right, okay.
So I couldn't play football or anything, and I was just a wee fat kid then. So then I had to lose all the weight. So my first fight, I actually fought at 52 kilos. Right. And then I ended up, and then after that, I got down to 42. And then it was boxing. Like, that was probably my hardest thing about boxing. Once I learned how to make the weight easy, then I was sweet. I didn't mind fighting. I didn't mind getting my nose broke.
Tell me this, boys. Do you think? Because I know for me personally, right? I think it's always been a big help for me. Do you think that your boxing background has helped you in your fitness business as well? You know, I suppose having being around that sort of environment to begin with, and then also, you know, you guys open your own facility now, Tribe, has dealing with, you know, the sort of adversity that comes with boxing helped you along the way?
Yeah, 100%. Just gives you like the structures of like training and getting up in the morning. Like, when you used to go and do your early morning runs, so now you're getting up early and going and training people and stuff.
Yeah.
And even sometimes it can be both things, because what used to work for me when I trained was that, you know, that ruthless, you know, don't quit no matter what. Whereas sometimes, you know, you can be a bit too
forceful. That
you maybe nearly could not obviously you'll never injure anyone, but like, sometimes you need to know when someone needs encouraged. You learn the fitness end of it. Some people, like, I have boxers that we train, and some of them need me to go, you're shite, you know, you need to get up and get out here, and some people need built up. So
I get you, man.
Sort of, you learn after a while that it sort of helps you know how to deal with different people, and, you know, different people need motivated in different ways.
Yeah, for sure, mate. Love it. I mean, that's probably the hardest part about the fitness industry. Like, I suppose, 100%. Or it's transitioning from that sort of mindset that you're in of, you know, everyone's out here. Whereas, like, you know, some people just get out of work at fucking 5 p.m. They've been working hard all day, and they don't need that shit either. Like, which is 100%, man. Boys, tell me a wee bit about so you started promoting fighters as well.
Mark started that. I wasn't involved in that. That was
okay.
Whenever I finished boxing, whenever I stopped boxing, I run a few white collar shows, and then I started managing, like, Tyrone. I managed Tyrone and the manager Ray, but he actually never fought. Never managed him.
Okay. What was that? Was that born out of frustration? Did you think that probably, you know? Because I mean, I never boxed pro, like, but I know sometimes in the pro world it's difficult in terms of can't get fights. You know, you'll put in a lot of work for a certain amount of time, and then, you know, money and stuff like this. Here, was that just born out of frustration, or what was that born out of?
I think that's why me and Tyrone came back from America, and I think Tyrone couldn't get fights, so Mark says, "Look, I'll get my manager's license and I'll try and get your fights," and then that's how he got into that.
And then I just wanted to sort of stay in boxing somewhere or another, you know what I mean? I was like coaching like novice fighters and stuff to the white collars, but I still wanted to be involved in the professional side of things.
Still passionate about it?
Yeah, so I got that there, and then I can only do so much with Tyrone. I only could get him a handful of fights, and then NTK came along, and then I then got Tyrone. I got in contact with Jamie Conlon, who then got Tyrone over to Marbella.
Brilliant.
And then once he signed, so then the wee link was made there, and then I ended up running professional boxing shows with MTK through that little link.
Class, mate. That's fucking awesome. Do you boys miss fighting?
Yeah, I do.
I don't.
Yeah. Nah, I don't either. Like
I love that problem.
Really, dude? Jesus Christ, that is mad. Why don't you?
What?
Why don't you? You don't let him. You don't let him. Class, no class. So here, what made you then transition in the fitness industry? When did you say, do you know what, I want to do this as well, or was it always just a natural progression?
Probably the same person that had an influence on you. Paul McElroy.
Oh, hi Paul. Right, okay. So you
probably
started
don't realise the amount of people that he actually
influenced in the fitness industry. Started. Yeah, 100%, man. Paul's fucking awesome, dude. So intelligent, like.
Yeah. So we were doing, whenever I just signed professional, I trained down there with like Paul and Jared and stuff.
Right. Okay.
And then I done that there like 6 week. You know, the transformation.
Yeah.
So Paul was like, look, could we try and do this in 6 weeks instead of 12 weeks? And I was like, yeah, no sweat. So I done this sort of in 6 weeks, and then I was like, how did you actually get in this here? And at that time I was going to uni. I was studying to do building surveying. And then I was like, I'm not doing this no more. 2.5 years into the course, and I just went, fuck, I'm not doing it. So I dropped out, and then I just went in and done the HND in sports science, and then started that way.
Class, man. And Ray, you just followed suit there. You follow up, man, everywhere. You followed him into boxing, Ray. Then you followed him into fitness. Can't get rid of him, Mark.
No, basically how I got started was I ended up obviously leaving boxing, and then I didn't know where to get started, where to start. Obviously, Mark had started the personal training, but I didn't really know. You know, I got my level 2 and 3 when I was 18, and then I turned professional, so I never used it. So I was sort of in that environment when I was about 18, but then like 4 years later, I was like, I can hardly go and do it now. I've been out of it for too long, so. We actually went for a meeting with Jim Conlon, that owns Gymco.
Yeah. Oh, and, yeah.
And I was meeting about boxing, and he says, "Why don't you start personal training in here?" And I was like, I couldn't do that. You know, I'm like, I couldn't just walk on the gym floor after being a boxer and start personal training. And then I went and done it. I was working in the Royal Hospital as a domestic. And then I went, fuck it, I'll just go and do it.
Yeah, that's the environment.
So I went, so if you want to say, not really humbling myself, but I had to leave boxing and then do what everyone else had to do and walk a gym floor and approach clients and say, look, have you ever done boxing before? And just build my clientele up from absolutely nothing, really.
Class, mate. Class. And you boys now own Tribe. On the Lisburn Road. So tell me a wee bit about that, right? Where was the name born from? I know, Ray, you said it was the kind of environment that you wanted to create, the same as the boxing days?
Yeah, well, sort of, like, I know what got me results, and it was all, like, I always performed best when my training environment was happy. And so whenever I first started professional boxing in Belfast, and it was with Paul McCullough, and there was loads of people in the gym, and we're all like a wee family. And then whenever I moved to America, obviously I didn't know anyone out there, so the environment wasn't the same.
Okay.
And so I didn't push myself as well as I did when I had all that community.
Yeah.
And then my mum obviously trains in No Limits, and then from No Limits, seeing you and Dan, and I see that you have that community sort of thing.
It's what works.
Yeah, it's what works. And then I read that book, Seth Godin
Tribes.
book, Tribes,
Yeah.
and it just was like, boom, that's it. That's what we need here in Belfast. We were thinking of a name, like what it can be, and then I just came up with that tribe, because it's exactly what we want to create, is a tribe of people who believe in what we believe in. That's it, really.
Love it, boys. Absolutely love it. And is so I know there's a big focus on boxing in the facility as well.
Yeah, well, that's our love, really. That's our passion. So find you need to find what you're good at. Whenever I first started personal training, I was doing the boxing, and then I was going and training with bodybuilders, and then I was trying to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized, look, this is what I'm good at. This is what I enjoy, and this is what if you want to say, this is what I'm born to do. Really, is help people learn how to. And I actually prefer training people from scratch than I do training professional boxers, because they value me more, because they know that I can help them get from A to B.
Yeah, absolutely, boys. And you're still doing the white collar events as well?
Yeah, we have one on the 15th of November.
I actually got one of my students to do it.
Lewis.
Is that right?
Yeah. You have to book matching, man.
Yeah, well, here, I bought some tickets today. Well, I give them a donation today, and I'll buy some tickets off on Sunday. When is it?
15th of November.
15th of November. I should be back from San Diego. Are you boys going to go to San Diego?
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm asking you now, live. I'm asking you now.
I need to get permission.
Well, if she's watching this here, she'll just write yes or no in the comment section, and that's good. It should be good. I should be back by then.
But our goal was we ran a white collar. When was it? March.
Start of March.
And we raised 32,000 for main cap.
Dude, it's unreal.
So our goal is to raise 100,000. It was to do it in a year, but to do that you need to be running more events, and you can't run them as well. So we haven't really. There's no time limit on it really. We just want to raise 100,000 for different local charities in around Belfast.
Class, boys, absolutely class, and that's definitely a worthwhile goal. Like.
Yeah.
Love that shit. We'll have to hook up with you sometime to do that. There, since we just kicked No Limits ass the last time, I don't know if we'll get it.
You get a white wife this one.
White wife, white collar. Right, okay, boys. So, you have recently expanded the gym as well.
Yeah.
I might have put this up there a wee bit. How's that been going?
Good, very good actually.
Kieran's doing well, is he?
Kieran's doing brilliant. And if there's anything I can say about, if you want to, you can learn to be a personal trainer and fitness instructor, online or through, but I have to say what you are doing there, and the standard of personal trainers that are leaving your facility, like Kieran, I know when people come into our gym, they're like even our members from upstairs who go down to train with Kieran, they'll go here, he knows his stuff, doesn't he? They probably think that he's been in the industry probably 10 years or so, and he's only left the course 3 months.
Yeah, he's deceiving, isn't he? Just because he messes about so much. What's that mean?
We learn things from him.
He's even refreshed us a wee bit, shit. Sometimes because we were doing more boxing based stuff. Yeah. We let people's techniques slip a wee bit, but he's on point.
That's good. That's class, man. That's probably the biggest compliment we can have here, 100%. That's what we send people out to do as well, which is amazing. Yeah.
You're raising the bar,
that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about. I suppose it's about providing for guys like you as well, because we be in contact with a lot of gym owners, and they're like, oh, have you got any trainers coming through? And I want to send them the absolute best. I don't want to send them, someone who they're going to have to fucking carry. I want to be sending them someone that's going to add a lot of value to the facility as well.
Yeah. Whenever Stephen Kieran just started us, we just started getting them on the ones, and then the first week I said, right, we're going to do groups, I'll be with you. But I didn't even show up for the group. I just stayed at the deep end going, can't work away. And then he just found his own feet straight away. And I think that's probably due to he was able to structure it properly because you showed him how to.
That's class, mate. That's fucking awesome. Like, so boys, here I actually meant to say this here earlier as well. You know, the last time we all met up, and you boys have absolutely killed it since then. And I always relate this here because, you know, I asked you at the start, does boxing, I think, you know, help you in terms of what you're doing in the fitness industry? And, you know, you two boys come from a fighting background, and when we last spoke, you were like, right, we're gonna go and do this. And like literally true to your word, just fucking absolutely killed it since then. Like, so fair play to you. So boys, suppose one last thing, you know, let's say there's guys much like yourselves just getting out of fighting, looking to move into the fitness industry, and they're looking to start out. What sort of advice would you give to someone like that who's maybe, you know, whatever age, 18, 19, possibly boxing hasn't worked out and they're looking to move in the industry?
Don't panic. Like, a lot of people invest a lot of their time and their life really like dedicated to boxing, and like when it comes to that point where you know it's getting to the end, you think like I've wasted my whole life. I didn't go to university. I didn't do, you know, that everyone else does. Like, what am I going to do? You've like there's so much more things you can do, and especially when we opened Tribe, our end goal was to create something that if boxers leave, that we have basically a blueprint of how they can take what we've done and then go and do them wherever their community is and set them up so that they can have a future outside of boxing.
So, absolutely, man.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. We'll have you all jobs.
you two boys will give him a job. Well, that's it sorted.
They're going to open about 10 trades.
Go and see Mark and Ray. There you go. Looking right, mate. Looking right.
And then I think as well, I remember whenever Mark had 2 jobs. He was doing a factory job and then he was doing personal training on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, remember when everyone was saying, you don't know.
People were all saying to me, like, because I was getting uncomfortable, like, my old sponsor for boxing was paying me 35 hours a week, but I was only working really 18 hours because it was pretty flexible.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, look, I could be working less hours doing personal training, but my mum and dad was like, no, that's a steady wage. You don't know if people, I was still off. And I was just like, my missus was due to give birth 8 weeks away, and we're like, just stay even and get the what they call it, the paternity pay.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, fuck it. I need to go out. I need to leave now. And then I just left, and straight away I picked up 9 extra sessions that week. And then from then it just snowballed and was flat out. I was doing 40 sessions a week, maybe even more.
Yeah. Fucking right, man. Just don't panic and take the opportunity when it arises.
And don't listen to people that tell you don't do it. You know, if
they always have a good, like, they're always good, like,
good intentions.
It's coming from a place of love. I found the same thing. People are coming from a place of love, but they haven't actually done what it was that you wanted to do. Do you know, like they hadn't worked in the fitness industry. They probably hadn't worked for themselves. So it's like, look, if I'm going to speak to someone here, I need to speak to someone that's, you know, done exactly what it is that I want to do.
Yeah, it was like Tony O'Neill. He just said to me, I just said to him, I think I should do it. And then he goes, right, well, you can't pick up 9 exercises unless you give that job up.
Yeah.
And he goes, so put it out today saying that you're leaving, you're going to leave your job. And I went down to hand him a notice, and then that day 2 people come on to me, and then he actually stuck up a video, me and him, and then we both worked together because a couple of his clients wanted to do boxing, so he handed me a few, and then a couple of my clients moved to him, and then the 9 signings came in no time, and then I ended up fully booked.
Yeah, it's a calculated risk, but worthwhile taking it.
Yeah.
Love it, man. Absolutely love it. Boys, thank you for coming on today.
No problem,
no problem.
Much appreciated. No worries. We'll let you get back to work. He's going to do a podcast in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Sure, mate, no problem.
Awesome, man. Let us get back to work.
Have a good weekend, mate.
You too. Take care, boys. Bye.